Hello everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. Now we will be starting the new series where I will be looking at the maps in the game and breaking down how to attack and defend them. A few disclaimers I'm going to make right at the beginning is that these are tactics that I employ, and a lot of these will be pretty niche, and it won't guarantee you 100% effectiveness, but if you choose to use them, they should win you at least one round, if not more. I'll be going through basic principles, but nothing very extreme. I've got my advanced tech series that breaks down movement mechanics, aim training, how to shoot, where to peek, and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a bit more advanced gameplay and how to perfect the small parts of playing Valorant, then you have my advanced tech series for that. This will be just a general overview of how the map functions in its basic form, the most effective way to defend and attack each map, and just the key points that need to be said, because as per the user called Vision requested, which I'll have in the top right corner right now, he said that he struggles with Bind and Ascent in particular. Sorry, Bind and I think it was Pearl in particular. So the first video is going to be on Bind, and then I'm going to make a video explaining how to play Pearl. Now, I'm also going to start asking at the start of the video to like, share, and subscribe, because I know the videos tend to be pretty long form, and maybe you won't hear me saying that at the end, but every share, like, and subscribe is very much appreciated. It lets me know that you're enjoying the content I'm putting out, and it tells me that I'm doing a good job. If you think there's anything wrong with the videos, or if you dislike them, do let me know in the comments down below. You can call me an idiot, say I'm stupid, whatever. Just give me an idea to know how well I'm performing so that I can improve my videos over time. Now, without further ado, Bind is a very interesting map, in the fact that it's one of a kind. It is the only map in the game, as far as I'm aware, that has teleporters in it, and it is the only map structured in the way it is. It is very much separated from most of the other maps, with the only map that I'd say that has similarities to Bind itself is Fracture, but that's for completely different reasons, which I'll get started on right now. We'll be looking from the attacker side perspective first, explaining how to attack A site and then B site, and then we'll be going on to how to defend the map effectively. Now, why am I comparing Bind to Fracture? A lot of you might think, well, no, they're completely different maps. Well, here's the thing, right? Bind and Fracture share the similarity of there's technically no mid in both maps. There is no mid control. You could argue that this point and this point of the map are mid, but that's not true. These are just angles that attackers can come from. A true mid of a map, it is a mid section that gives you access to both sides, whereas Bind doesn't have that, and the reason for that is Bind's teleporters. The teleporters quite literally just allow you to go in and move from one point to the other very effectively, but because Bind has been in the game for a long time, and this is so an issue that's shared with most of the maps that have been in the game since the beta, it is now very predictable, and a lot of the tactics I'm going to show you are probably well known by most people. So, the common point of attack on Bind is in fact a cubby. And the reason for that is it's very effective to just ask your smokers. Obviously, this is the tactic employed by everyone. It is very effective. Just smoke lamps, smoke heaven. A more effective smoke rather than smoking all the way back here would be to do this one, because this one cuts off, not there, sorry, right there, because this one will cut off line of sight from heaven, and it will also block the view of any snipers trying to cheese you by playing this specific angle. But yeah, the main key of attacking Bind is momentum, and this is something that's equally shared among all maps. If you know how to use your momentum to your advantage, you will win a lot more rounds. And one of the things you're going to hear me talk about a lot is the if it's not broken, don't fix it mentality. A lot of times in ranked, I will see enemy teams, and I've had this happen on both sides of the spectrum, where it's either my team or the enemy team. What they'll do is they'll push A main, get sight, win the round, plant the spike, etc. And then instead of doing it again, what they'll do is they'll push out hookah. And then in hookah, the enemy team that knows how to defend B effectively will just gun them all down, and it's game over, man. You lost. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. So, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If you find that you can push showers 10 out of 10 rounds and win all 10, then keep pushing showers. If you can push A main, then keep pushing A main. Now, how do you attack A site? This is something that needs to be applied to both B side, but specifically A side. You always want to have at least one person in showers. Why? Let me explain. Let's say we have an effective take, we kill whoever's in lamps and there's no one upping heaven. Good job. Your sage walls it, but there is someone currently playing up here. Or even better, to make a bit more of sense, there's someone that's coming out of showers. Well, what can this person do? Well, if you've got no one playing showers and there's no information about this enemy player, what they'll do is either come up behind you and be at this point by the time your spike is down, because you already know a few of your teammates will push into spawn and die. And then what they'll do is unexpectedly they'll flank you and kill you and win the round for the ally team. That's one thing that can happen to you when you push A main without pushing showers. But also what they can do is use this ledge, because as most people know, if you use this ledge and jump up to here, you can see pretty well over a sage wall and get a few free kills out of lamps, especially if he's got the rest of his team pushing with him. But once you're on site, it is very effective to make sure that you're watching your flank. Like I said, because there's no actual mid control, you know exactly where the enemies are coming from. So once spike is on the ground, you've officially switched roles from attackers to defenders in a way. Let's see. If you are pushing out of showers, which for whatever purpose, the only time you should be pushing out of showers as a 5 is if you manage to get TPO and be long. But if this does happen, you want to make sure you're using your abilities to push out, because it is very easy for an operator to stay there. Now, a key note about this map is the fact that this area right here is wallbangable. So before you push site, the first thing you want to do every time, because you know everyone is going to abuse this corner, is ping it from a safe angle and spray moving downwards. So that way, if you miss your first couple of shots because you're aiming too high, the spray will come down and kill them. But as you can see, it's very easy to do. You literally, like, this is when the video ends, I'm going to be showing all the wallbang spots in every map. Sorry about that. In order to help explain what the most common angles are, and to teach people, because I feel like in low elo specifically, not everyone knows what the wallbang spots available in every map are, and if I give that information out, then a lot more people will get really easy kills purely by just spraying every box they can spray through. If you are pushing showers, effectively you want this area smoked off, because unless you have the aim of a god, the second you peek, anyone holding that entire length will kill you. Like, if you peek out here, you see you've got a very large margin of error to aim for. So if you're peeking out of showers, it's best to just peek a small angle first and come across. However, as with most times in this game, depending on what side the gun is actually on, there is a small probability that the person that's actually playing this angle right here may see your arm before you even see them. So what have we learned about pushing to basically cut down all the information I've just given out? The most effective way to push A is to have majority of your team go main, some people go showers. Now, it is very easy to get stuck here, because once you're in this corner, utility will most likely kill you, and any operator playing in heaven will shoot you down unless you have smokes. So if A is not working for whatever reason, we obviously can go B. But you want to make sure that you've exhausted every possible way of pushing, that includes pushing fast and pushing slow. If you're going to rush a site, do not hold on to your abilities no matter who you are playing as. If you are playing Cypher, for example, and I've picked him because I think he's quite good on bind, the best thing a Cypher player can do is chuck his traps down and activate them as he chucks them. Would you look at that, we just took up so much space and there wasn't really much the enemy team can do. Obviously, you don't want to throw your traps like that. You want to activate it, turn it on, and throw another one, so you have a perfect wall you can go through. The reason Cypher is so effective at doing this is because should the enemy actually walk in your cages to try and counter your smoke, you will know they're there because the cage makes an audible noise whenever an enemy walks through it. So this is just one example. If you are playing a character that can actually smoke, you want to make sure you use your smokes to give your team the highest chance of success. In fact, what you could do is smoke deep into lamp so that it covers a line like so, and then smoke tower and this angle. Or if you want to be a bit more risky with it, you could try placing a smoke there. However, most smokes in the game do not effectively cover this large gap. So if I was to chuck a Cypher Trap like that, you'll see there are gaps here and here that the enemy could shoot through, which isn't as effective. But yeah, most of the time you just want to use your abilities to push as fast as you can, because once you have Spike down, like I said before, it's no longer an attacker game, it's a defender game. You have to switch up your game plan, and that's something that applies to every map, by the way. A lot of the time when people know their roles, that's the only way they're gonna play. If you're defending and the spike is down, you no longer have the time, all the time in the world, to wait for the enemy team. You sort of have exactly 40 seconds before the spike explodes to do what you need to do and get out. So remember how the role reversal works, remember what it is that you have to do, and always be on top of what you have to do at that time. If you think that you have, let's say you have a Sage, the most common play to do is, okay, we're now outside of a teleporter, Sage walls across like that, you put the spike down, game over for the enemy team. Well, yes and no. Remember what I said about the person playing showers? A lot of the time what you'll have is the enemy team playing showers won't actually flank, because flanking gets less and less effective as you go up in elo. What they'll do is they'll come, the person playing heaven will jump down and they'll play together right on the Sage wall. So, because like I said, the Sage wall strategy is very common, the first thing they'll do is they'll break the Sage wall and kill whoever it is that's planting. This is why it is very important to make sure you watch who is planting and defend them, because if you don't get the spike down, it's going to be a lot harder to do it as a 4v5 or a 3v5 than as a 5v5. So, now that you have actually exhausted every way to push a site, I don't think I spoke about slow pushing. Slow pushing doesn't really work on this map. Like I said, it's very momentum heavy. Once you have sight, you have sight. If you get stuck here, the enemy team will just bombard you with utility. If you get stuck in showers, you will get collapsed on from both the entrance and the exit to showers. So, once you have exhausted your only way to really push A, what you want to do is you want to go to B. Like I said, this map doesn't really have a mid-control area. What it does have is 4 points of entry. So you have B long and hookah. Hookah is very difficult to take, in my opinion, because of one reason and one reason only. If you kill the person in hookah and you have no one pushing long, what will happen is, well, yeah, one of the enemy team players dead, but now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles, 7 if no one is long, that you can get shot from, which is why hookah is so difficult to push unless you have someone like Jett, Omen, Raze, anyone who can get that space and distract the enemy team. That is what B is all about. You have to make sure that whoever's holding all those 8 angles is distracted long enough for your sentinels and smokers to get onto site without their mobility. Hookah is also dangerous because once you're here, well, what do you have to do to get out? You have to jump. Everyone knows in this game that if you're not actually... Oop, almost killed myself there. If you're not actually on the ground, well, you're not going to hit anything. So, if you're attacking, it is key to have people in hookah, because this is a very strong area of the map, and your sentinel can also play here in the post-plant game, but you should really be sending more people long. This is where you want your Jetts and Reynos to go, because then they don't have the risk of having to jump out and being gunned down by here. Everyone knows that this is a very common angle to play. No one really plays against Teleporter because it's so predictable, although do be wary of this area. Whenever anyone plays in Hexagon, I think it's in Hexagon, Garden, this is the very common angle everyone will hold, because if you push out, you have the risk of dying from here and from here. This is a double, this crossfire angle. If you're attacking long, obviously, just don't all push, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a Phoenix, a Skye, whatever there, and you're all going to be pushing, making a lot of noise. He's going to flash and boom, 3 of you are dead. So, only one person should ever push up. And 2 people should be playing here and here, wait for the flash and then swing. Even if the person in front dies, well, you just traded them and you're effectively taking up a lot of space, because now the whole enemy team is going to be here. Once you are in Garden, this is the point where, once again, you want to use your momentum and go fast. Do not stop. Bind is about momentum. Don't get your Omen to smoke here if he's in hookah. Your Omen should smoke this here and here to remove the ability of people in backside to swing, especially that angle right there. That a lot of people die from gardens pushing onto side because of that angle. And then use your Sage or your Cypher to smoke elbow. Your team will jump out, and you could say, yeah, well, now the enemy team could play this angle or they could play in tube. Well, what do? You have your entry fraggers take space. This is how you attack B. Too many times, people will be just smoking backside and elbow, and what will happen? Oh, you get swung by the people holding these two angles. Your entire team gets gunned down. A presto, you just lost the round. So, get your smokers to take out as much line of sight from the enemy team as they can. In fact, maybe don't smoke right here, but rather smoke here and there. Anything you can to help your team get sight, and then use that momentum to win the round. Most effectively on this site, you want your Sage to actually wall off here, because if anyone is there, they'll have to break the wall, and that cuts out a point of retake for the defenders. And once the smokes are on, all you need to do, once again, watch the person who's planting. They get spiked down, play post plant in long and hookah. This is how you attack B effectively. There's no really secret strategy here. The map has been in the game for a very long time. The tactics you know that work will always work. This is a general push of the site. If you'd want to do something a little more niche, what you can do is wait for the enemy team. Everyone knows how impatient Valorant players are. One thing that everyone knows will happen is, if you don't make any noise, eventually someone will bite the hook and they'll start pushing either lamps or showers, or they'll start pushing main. You can use that to your advantage to take them out and then push, but once again, maintain your momentum. The second you give the enemy team time to think on attack, that is the very second you've lost the round. If you're attacking on any map, letting the enemy team strategize is the worst mistake you could make. You want to take the site, put the spike down, be constantly moving, be unpredictable, just like I said in my movement and positioning video. So, moving swiftly on, how do you defend a site? Now, this map has the caveat, very similar to Fracture, where rotating is actually super fast. This is why I'm talking about momentum. If you get stuck out of main of any site and you kill one person, if you don't use that right there and then, the enemy team will all rotate, and before you can do anything, they'll all be on site. The most rounds I've seen people win on bind ever are the ones where they get spiked down as fast as they can. Because, well, it's very predictable. As I've said before, there is no mid, so there's no mystery of where people can come from. You will either get pushed from showers if you have no one showers against the Sage wall, or you will get pushed from lamps on attack. On defense, it is very important to do the exact opposite of what I've said. Always have someone playing near showers. If they're not confident in their aim on that game, have them put a trap down before the round begins, even a deep trap, just so they can listen in on enemies attacking. On defense, your best friend is information. You don't need kills, because the aim of the game is to keep the enemy team out of this wonderfully large white box. If you're defending, set up, play for info, and always play a crossfire angle. This map has so many of them, it is ludicrous. If you've got your Sage playing here because she deep walled a main, they break the wall, they push the Sage, play a bit closer, wait for the Sage to call that she's getting pushed, and then peek this person and then that person. Don't wide swing, because if you don't get the kill on that person, the other 5 people here will absolutely kill you. Sorry, 4 people there will kill you. So, play crossfire angles. They are very powerful. Do you have someone pushing you showers? Well, what you can do is let them think that you're playing this angle, wait for them to push on the side, and then play again with your with your ally there. Swing together, you have a free kill. Crossfire angles, people. Learn them. Now, I can already see in the comments that people are going to say that allies don't listen to them. I know this is true. I've played in many games where people don't listen to me. If you sound like you know what you're doing, people will listen to you. Be confident in what you say. If your voice is shaky or you sound unsure, people will pick it up like that, and you will not be able to convince them to do it. But should you have a team that actually pays attention and listens to you, you will have a very easy time defending this map. So, what do you do if you get pushed out using utility? If you guys have seen my movement and positioning video, you'll know that it's all about effective thinking. The enemy team has a Raze. A Raze needs lamps every round. You can't play lamps technically. What do? You play a bit deeper and lamps, wait for the utility to go out and then push out again to play the crossfire angle. Does the enemy Phoenix blind out of A main every single time? Well, the blind actually makes a sound. It makes a psh sound. I know that's a terrible representation of what it sounds like, so what do? Instead of playing out there or in this angle, you just play against the box here. The enemy team has to push you. What do you have here? Oh, look, another crossfire angle. Plus, if the Sage walls across like that, and she does it outside of the line of sight of this area, well, you're getting walled up, and now you have an off angle you can play against the enemy team. And it just gives you a lot of things to play around with. So, A is all about playing the crossfire angles, and B is a bit similar, but you play B a little different. Once again, to cut everything I've said into a bit of a shorter shorter part of the video, just so I don't have to go over all of it again. Always have someone defending showers. Always play crossfire angles. Keep the enemy team off sight as long as you can. One of the strongest angles to play on this map is in fact Heaven, and if you have someone who's even remotely competent using an operator, it doesn't have to be your Jett. Your Jett should really be playing up close because of the movement abilities, but you do want someone holding here, because the longer you are away from people, the harder it's going to be for them to kill you. So if you're playing Heaven, play it back here, you take your pot shot and then you quickly run away. This is another very strong angle to hold. And what you want to do is, if you're playing an operator and the allied team that's playing B does call B, you want to start running as fast as you can. Leave one person on A to defend it and move B, because rotation on this map is so simple. Rotate all the time, but always leave one person in case they try and trick you. But rotating should be very quick, very effective on this map, because, well, you just have to go through spawn, and that's not really a long distance to cover. So, using that, we're going to talk about defending B. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows there will be one person who has been doing the aim training. They'll peek out and just get gunned down by 5 people. The best way to hold hookah is actually to not be in it at all. You will use a Cypher camera there, you will use a tripwire, you will put a cage here if you're playing Cypher specifically, but this applies to any Sentinel. The only difference is Sage, but even Sage should just be walling off here and then playing off her, like, Grim Wall up right there, because that means she can look out for long and hookah as well. Do not play in hookah unless you are once again playing crossfire with an ally there. But that doesn't work as effectively as A, because what will happen, if you remember me talking about seeing people from specific angles, the enemy team can play right here and they will see whoever's playing here long before you can see them holding here. So if you are playing crossfire, you want to be playing like this. Why? Well, if the person that's playing here gets swung, you'll see them first. And if your ally is playing here, about here, and you get swung, well, once again, you're kind of fucked. You see, you can't play crossfire as easily on this side. But if you both play a little bit more out, anyone who swings you here, they should be able to see. Anyone who swings them there, you should be able to see first. Play together. That's it. If you're going to play hookah, play together. One person holding hookah can be effective, but we're talking about people who can do stuff like play Jett, swing out, tap, and then dash away. I don't know why I went into camera. I'm not playing Jett. How do you hold long? Well, the principle is very simple, but long is a bit different because of how much space you have to work with, right? So, usually what you want to do is, on most maps, you want to take these wonderful things. They are actually in the game. I know they're very difficult to see because, you know, they're practically translucent. They definitely do not glow or make any form of, like, swirly movement. They're not on top of what looks like to actually be a Cypher trap or anything. You know, they're there, right? Use these. These are super powerful. This is a kill. Do you know how much a kill is in this game? It's a whole ass kill. Pick these up, please, for the love of God. If you're on defense, this is a very useful tool, especially if you're playing someone like Chamber. Have your Omen smoke long, take this orb, move away. If you don't have a smoker that's playing on B, Chamber is another really good character to play, or even Cypher, because as we all know, This is something that I'm going to teach you right now. To be fair, I should probably do this in my character tutorial videos, because there's a lot of things people don't know about different characters in this game. But if you go up here with Cypher, you can actually put your camera on that panel there, and you can see the entirety of Belong. This is how you play Cypher on this map. But if you're playing Chamber, what you want to do is you want to set a trap right there. Sorry, not a trap, sorry. You want to set your teleporter right there, and another one playing Elbow. You peek out, boom, you get a kill, teleport away. Long is very effective at gathering information, 1, and at getting free kills on the enemy team, 2. If you're playing a character like Reyna or Phoenix or Yoru who have blinds, what you want to do is you want to wait until you hit that the enemy has actually pushed up, instead of just letting them, you know, push up for free. You will hit them, because shift walking the entire length of Belong is a pain in the ass. But if they are doing that, you can predict where they're going to be. You want to put your flash out and swing out. Now, you might have noticed that I did explain how to counter this, but like you've said, who the hell is going to listen to you in ranked? If you are confident that you can get a kill playing an entry frag on Belong, play it. If not, the best thing you can do for your team is actually hold right here. Because what do you have here? A crossfire angle with this person, and actually a crossfire angle with anyone playing backside. Why is that? Well, if the person backside gets the information from you because you're telling them, hey, we've got people in garden, what can they do? They swing, you swing, crossfire angle, you take out the enemy team. So, moving on, how do you defend bind on site? I like playing Cypher on this map, but Killjoy is also really effective as well, because she can put her mollies there, and that covers pretty much the entire site whenever they want to plant. But the best way to play Cypher is to randomize the position of your traps. So, obviously, excuse me, if you're playing somewhere around lower elo, iron to silver, you can use very effective traps by just putting them a bit deeper in Hookah and a bit deeper in Belong. Putting a cage on top of them. The enemy team doesn't break the trap, you, they walk into your tripwire, you cage up, you get a kill through the wall, and you run away, right? Jesus, this is like turning into a Cypher Tricks video, but you get what I mean. You can play aggressive the lower elo, you can play more aggressive the lower elo you are with your abilities. But once you get to the point where the enemy team will actually know to push you the way I described they should push you, you want to use your traps very defensively. What do I mean by that? A very common thing that people do when they attack is they kill the person here and they take this spot because, well, now they can swing the person there and they've got pretty much almost complete safety from anyone playing in there. What can you do as Cypher? You can put a trip there. Or if they do it every single round, you can even put the trip a bit deeper in because they will walk into it backwards without realizing. They get stuck. You know exactly where they are. If you're playing any other character that's a sentinel, so I can't really break it down for all sentinels because that would just make this video go on forever. But the main thing is, just like A side, keep them off the side. The more you can slow the enemy team down, the better. This map is momentum heavy. I'm going to keep just bringing this up. If you have the momentum required to take site, you will take site 10 out of 10 times. B site, once again, is a bit easier to defend in my opinion because, well, if you keep getting naded backside, you just play in tube. This area right here, everyone should play in it. This is overpowered. Yes, it is true that you can shoot this area completely all the way through. You can fire through it and bullets will go through. If you get lucky, you can even hit a headshot on someone through this. But how often is someone just going to sit still and just eat all of your wallbang bullets? Pretty much never. And if you think about it, this plays both ways, because one thing you can do, again, with anyone that has information gathering, people walk into your trip, you see exactly where they are, free kill. This is why tube is so overpowered. So for the love of fucking God, stop playing backside. Unless you're rotating, you should never be here. Unless you are coming from A, you should never be here. Even if you come from A, it's so much more effective to just go behind the enemy team. Stop playing backside. It's impossible to push because you know why? What's the enemy team gonna do? We have sight, one here, one there, crossfire. You're done. Boom. Game over. Round's over. Unless you're fucking playing with aimbot, there ain't no way you're gonna swing out here, get a kill there, and then turn around to kill this person. It's impossible. So stop playing backside. The only time you should play backside is if you're fucking average Jonas. You have like a lineup. Oops, sorry. You have a lineup for your bow that lands there, and then you can warm bang the person planting with an Odin. Like, come on, man. Do not play backside. It's terrible. Sorry, not backside. Spawn. I kept saying backside. I'm stupid. You can play here. This is really good. This is where you want to be as a defender in theory, because you've got the same thing as being in tube, but now you've got the caveat that the bullet will deal even less damage to you and probably not pierce at all unless they're using, what is it, like an Odin? No, even the Odin, yeah, you're perfectly safe from wall bangs. They will not hit you because they only go through the first wall, not the second wall. So if you can play backside, you want to be here, but not tube is your next best option. Why is this angle so strong? Well, what's the one thing you can do here? Gather lots of information. Why? Because when you play backside, you can hear anyone pushing from garden, you can hear anyone pushing from hookah. So, if you remember to quite a while back in the video, when I was talking about pushing B, I told you guys about jumping onto site. One thing that does is it makes the noise of sand unless the enemy players are smart enough to jump on the box first and then walk onto site. But even then, you sort of have to jump up here and then shift walk. And you still make noise. So whenever you hear this noise on bind, not this one, you know to swing, because that means they've jumped down on sand and they're a free target for you, because they will be looking at right here to make sure they don't get gunned down from elbow. Once again, you've got crossfire angles to play. Have someone constantly playing elbow on defense. This is so strong. Unless the Sage walls them off, this is overpowered. Why? Let me give you an idea. I have my Sage playing here. I'm playing Phoenix. Sage, they jumped out of hookah. Peek with me. I blind. They know I'm here now, so they're turning to face me. Sage gets a free double kill out of elbow. This is what I mean. Just keep playing crossfire. On defense, this map is all about crossfire. There's so many angles you can play. If you're stuck here, smoke yourself off or have a smoke off, run into tube, you've now got, you know exactly where the enemy team is. Make sure you are constantly playing with one or more teammates, because that's how you win this map. Now, if you remember what I said at the beginning of the video, I said that these are pretty much generalized tactics and there's no guarantee that they will work. And the reason I say that is, just like you guys will bring up in the comments, getting your team to work with you is very difficult in any game, including Valorant, as well as none of these tactics the enemy team may know, and they just will ignore you the entire time. And sometimes the enemy team will play better than you, they'll have better aim, they'll be able to defend very well. But this video should help you win at least a few rounds to get you that XP, I guess, or to make the loss a bit more manageable. And the more you play this map, the better you get at it, because you start learning new tricks. For example, if you like playing Cypher, you will learn that this wire isn't that effective, because people can literally, unless they jump completely out of hookah like that, it won't tag them. And once they're here, they'll just, well, here, it will tag them, unless they go there. But this wire gets broken really quickly because people just shoot it down as soon as they get there. So what can you do about that? Well, if the enemy team keeps taking down your wires, put them deeper into sight. Put a wire there and a wire there. Now, if anyone comes to plant, they actually have to shoot your wire down before they take it off, or they have to use utility to take them out. To any Cypher players, there's a really... obviously, this Cypher camera you want to use at the beginning of the game, but if you know that the enemy team just keeps pre-firing there to take out your camera, these two places are also really strong. This sees the entirety of hookah there and on site as well. And this side is a bit less effective, but it's also harder to take out because Boret is on the map, and it will actually tag anyone playing here. You'll see who's gone to plant the spike, and you also get a pretty neat angle. Other camera slots I like to do are obviously against the wall. If you put it here and you don't actually tag anyone, they'll probably see it and shoot it down, but if they don't, well, now you've got the entire information of on site. So, like I've said, to cut this video down right at the very end, momentum is key if you're attacking. Use that speed. Use the fact that the enemy team needs time to think about what they want to do and push the site fast every time. Playing this map slow is very difficult unless the enemy team makes a mistake, because there is no mid There's no mid in this map. There's 4 entry sites, all outlooking the enemy team, which is where the difficulty comes from. The only way you're going to break through a good team on this map is if they make a mistake. Because in theory, unless they play way too passive, there should be no way for you to get sight here. A is a bit easier because A doesn't have anything to jump through, and it's also a bit more difficult to watch every angle on A. But at the same time, if the enemy team is competently defending the site, you should never take sight. It should be impossible. Well, I hope this video has helped you. It is very difficult. Obviously, I'm not following any script. I'm talking about my personal experiences. Once again, there's no 100% guarantee that this will work, but it should get you at least a few kills. I think I will be using Cypher for every map and just explaining whether he is actually useful on that map or not, especially seeing as he's getting buffs. A lot of people are going to want to play Cypher more now that he's a lot stronger. One thing they gave him is that Cypher can basically put a trap now that spans. I don't think it spans that far, but let's see, what's the furthest distance here? He could probably... Can he put a trap this way now? He can. I don't know. He gets a much longer trap. Like, yeah, he can trap this now. He can trap all the way from there to there. That's how long his traps are going to be now. So his actual ability to be very sneaky on maps is going to go up a lot. So yeah, I will be using Cypher on all maps. If you don't like playing Cypher, I will still explain how to use abilities that other characters can play. One thing I'm going to note, Omen is extremely strong on this map. I think he's the strongest smoker on this map, and this map will single-handedly make Omen relevant, and that's for one reason and one reason only. He can take sight very easily whether he's pushing A or B. Now, obviously, he's received a few buffs which makes that easy for him, and I'll be talking about these buffs when I make the Omen tutorial video. But if you're playing Omen, like I've said before, smoke there, TP onto sight. You can even TP in the center because his teleport will either put him in the smoke or far enough away from elbow where he can't get shot down. One thing I won't recommend is teleporting on top of there unless you smoke it. And that's another smoke you can do. If you're playing Omen and you've got 2 smokers on the team, use your smokes for yourself. Put one aggressively there, TP there, use your blind, jump down, distract the enemy team. You have to break the enemy team's defense to take sight every time. And the easiest way to do that is to make them focus on anybody besides the rest of your team. I hope this video will help people who are struggling to play Bind. Once again, if you have any other tactics or anything else you want to add, let me know in the comments down below. I have a few videos planned that I need to release very soon. Yeah, I just hope this has been useful because I do try to make these videos as all-encompassing as I can. And breaking down an entire map is actually very difficult because there's just so much to talk about. So, now should just come the part of the video where I show you every spot that is actually wallbangable in this game, and that should just give you a bit of an idea of what angles people can hold to try and catch you out. Without further ado, I have been VenterBlack3. I hope these videos do help you guys, and yeah, thank you for watching.
Here. 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 Here.
That should be all the spots you can wallbang in this map. Maybe here. This is one as well. You'll notice that I included walls as well as boxes, just because a lot of people don't abuse this as much as they should, and that angle right there, that one can be wallbanged as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.